What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Super Gamer Boys. I'm your host, Colonel and Dad, Garrett Morlang. And here in the virtual studio with me is the king of video games and still resident superstar, Adrian Holmes. What's up, Adrian?
3 days, Garrett. We only got 3 days left. 3 days to wait until everything stops. I'm talking about Tears of the Kingdom, my good man.
Okay, I was like, are you sick? Is there something I need to know?
No.
This is the end of Adrian.
Why would you jump to that?
It's like, Adrian, I didn't know you were sick, buddy.
Oh my God.
3 days before the Tears of the Kingdom.
Or something? Or are you,
So wait, am I
jumping to me dying?
God,
a completely unrelated question. If you were to, do you have a will written up? And who
I don't have anything.
Who happens to be getting all your game collection? Just curious. Just
probably my
completely
brother.
Unrelated. Oh, okay. All right, that's cool.
That seems like the right choice.
Yeah, that's actually probably a better choice.
Nice try. But if he dies, then you're up.
Oh, heck yeah.
Did you write his will too? Because that's electric if you were able to.
You wrote yours and your brother. You just hand him a piece of paper like, here, this is yours. Don't
friggin' sign this.
Also joining us here in the virtual studio tonight is the number one streamer in my heart on twitch.tv. It's SelkiezZ. What's up?
Hello. I'm just basically here to flame a game and disappear. So it's going to be a good time.
No, don't sell yourself short. You're here for a good time with us. Come on now.
I'm here for a good time. As long as it's my first time actually meeting Adrian, not obviously in person, but it's
time
a real
to disappoint,
freaking treasure. Oh, man, you can't disappoint. I watch you guys all the freaking time. There's no way I could be disappointed. Just excited to be here. So thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for stopping by. I'm glad that you jumped into the chat last week when we were talking about Redfall. You're like, I'm playing it right now, and it's great. Because I was like, oh, okay. Let's have him on the show next week. Let's talk more about it once he plays a little more. So little teaser for later on. Our What You Playing segment is kind of getting rebranded into the official Selk's Redfall review. That's right. Sponsored by Super Gamer Boys. It's a long title. We're working on it. We're workshopping it. But
you might want to save that sponsorship, by the
way. Yeah. So SelkiezZ, we always our guest first time on the show, we always kind of give a little bit of like an introduction as to who the heck you are, why you're here. I guess I'm trying to think. I don't know. It was just fate. It was fate is what it was. One random night in 2020, somehow we all stumbled into the same stream and became best friends after that. That's what it was.
Yeah,
best online friends. There was like a crew of us. It was with Nate Fletcher, as a lot of you know, Boba Fletch, Dan, who's also been on the show. I'm trying to think of anyone else from the crew's ever been on the show, but yeah, there's a good crew of us that would like stay up like till 3 a.m. Yeah, oh yeah, Angel and Chizo. Yeah, they've been on the show. We'd stay up till like ungodly hours in the morning playing
freaking Among Us or whatever. Oh my God.
Sea of Thieves, like whatever it was, just like going nuts.
Just basically all of us getting passively mad at each other, and then we close the game and we're totally chill again.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Getting to the point where the friendship was about to end with everyone, and then it's like, all right, maybe it's time to go to bed. All right, see you guys. Same time tomorrow? Yep, same time tomorrow.
Same time tomorrow.
Like me
I
and
can't
Mario
wait.
Party.
Yeah, that's another friendship ruiner. You're cool, you're having a great time. You're like, oh man, I just got another star. Your friend lands on Boo.
Get out of my house.
Just rinses you for 2 stars. And you're like, well, now I think you might want to leave because I'm going to kill you.
And then as soon as he gets home, so what you doing tomorrow?
Hey, do you want to come back and finish that game we totally just left sitting on because you dipped so quick? Because I was ready to kill you?
Because I made you leave?
Yeah, because I was ready to kill you. I shoved you out the door.
Oh, man. So good. So, yeah, SelkiezZ. And you stream on Twitch as well. You did... once upon a time, you had a very successful channel, and then you deleted it, right? Is that what happened?
It's simply because I was getting bot followed, and I didn't want to go through the whole rigmarole of like telling Twitch that, hey, I got bot followed, because I still my whole channel just looked like crap because of that. Like I have like 3 or 4 people viewing me. And then I have like 14,000 followers. So it's like, okay, that doesn't track. That doesn't track. So I got rid of it.
I mean, if you want to send some of them over here, it might be easier for us to get codes and stuff. I'm just saying. Yeah. We can put up our numbers. I'm just throwing that out there.
I'm going to tell all 14,000 legit, definitely not computerized fans to hop on over here and hit you guys up because we need Tears of the Kingdom in Adrian's hands. Stat.
Don't you worry. I got that settled. We're good to go.
Oh, man.
No, you get an early copy. Don't worry about it. Those 14,000 people will make it happen.
Oh, I wish.
That'd be wild. But yeah, I just stream currently. I don't really do anything else. I'm just kind of placing everything I stream onto a YouTube. So it's just different place, same stuff. So it's not really anything crazy.
Yeah, so you're back streaming. We'll have the links to your Twitch channel in the show description. And you said YouTube too. Do you have a YouTube channel? You have to tell us what that link is.
I'll have to get it because I don't have like a personalized URL yet.
Okay.
Because, YouTube. So I'll figure it out.
Exactly.
Yeah, so we'll be able to find all that on YouTube and podcast when you listen later. If you're watching live, sorry, you'll just have to figure it out. Good luck.
Yep.
In
the wind, have fun.
Thanks for joining us on the episode tonight. I'm excited to hear your thoughts on Redfall later on.
Oh, yeah. I'm excited to be here.
But for now, today, we are going to be talking about that Phil Spencer interview. Respawn, working on a new IP, and the Concrete Genie studio is shutting down. But first, let's give a quick shout out to our Patreon producers, Bumble Smash, Eddie Martin, and Kajoma01, and our Super Gamer sponsors, Julie Bates and Mama Mare. If you want to be awesome just like those folks, head over to patreon.com/supergamerboys, where you can support us starting at just $1 a month. Get episodes early and ad-free, such as this show, as well as Super Gamer Book Club, hosted by Adrian. Right now, the new episode is Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. Me and Adrian just...
chef's kiss of a series, not just a game.
Gush over this incredible...
All the way around. Great.
So go check that out. It's worth $1 at least, maybe even 10, if you're really feeling spicy.
25 seems legit.
Well,
I'd buy that for $1.
Our highest Patreon tier is 15. But I mean, I guess you can do custom amounts. Go ahead and throw 50 in there. I don't know.
Just saying, seems like a cool thing to do.
If you're on the fence about supporting us and you're like, hey, is this Super Gamer Book Club really worth it? You can listen to them for free. You release them 2 months later for everyone else. So right now, you can go listen to the episode about Hi-Fi Rush with DJ Trues, the one good Xbox game in the last 3 years. So go.
So disappointing, but the game is awesome.
I was gonna say not the game. Awesome. The game's not disappointing.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I meant to say that it is the only good one recently. Hi-Fi Rush though, let's go.
Yes. It is still currently my game of the year.
Yeah,
it will end in my top 3. I'm pretty sure of it. I'm pretty sure it's going to be Tears of the Kingdom, Hi-Fi Rush, and Final Fantasy, but we'll see.
That's a beautiful list, by the way. I'm just going to say.
Not a bad list. Yeah. And upcoming at the end of this month, we're going to be talking about Super Metroid. We are finishing out the Holy Trinity, the Super Nintendo games. We did Super Mario World. We did Legend of Zelda Link to the Past. And we are finishing it out with Super Metroid, featuring the Nintendo Cartridge Society. We're having Patrick and Mark back, finish it all out, round it out, and I'm excited for that one. I jumped into it the other day, and let me tell you, it's fun so far, but we'll see. I feel like there's been a trend with the other 2 games where generally my feeling has been old games are old. I respect it, but it's fine. So we'll see.
You know what? At least you don't dislike it. I'll take that.
Yeah, you know what? That is completely accurate. As long as you enjoy it and you can at least recognize it for what it is, you get a pass.
Oh, yeah. Sweet. All right. Well, in that case, but yeah, so be sure to support us over on Patreon to get that upcoming episode as soon as it comes out. That we don't have to wait 2 months, because that's lame. No one wants to wait. You need it now. We're in America. You get it now. You need it now.
Instant gratification.
Exactly.
This very second.
It's just $1. It's less than a LaCroix,
One ducat and you get to hear these 2 wonderful voices all the time. I mean, come on.
Me.
Voice of an angel.
Yes, exactly. We'll talk more about our Patreon later on in the show. Real quick here, I want to give a quick shout out to Jack Sriracha and Yate for allowing us to use some of their music in the background here. If you're listening or watching over on Twitch or listening later on podcast services and YouTube, you'll hear this amazing music. Make sure to go give them some support over on Spotify and Apple Music. Links are in the description on YouTube and podcast apps. Jack Sriracha and Yate, fantastic artist. And thank
Not
you
to
so
mention, we also have DJ. Oh no, wait, we don't have DJ Trues, huh?
No, because he's not on
because he doesn't
Music.
put his music where it's supposed to be, huh? Yeah, that's probably why.
Not on Apple Music. And well, he did tell me he'd send me the raw like wave files that I could play, but it's
you might need to poke him again.
Yep.
Well, no, he told me he asked me what songs. I just never did the work to like put a list together. So I did that.
Literally
send us the
everything.
discography.
That's
whatever you
me.
got.
Yeah, we'll take it all.
If it's an MP3 or MP4, it's coming your way.
Yeah.
You hear that, DJ Trues? Get some tunes our way. No. But go check out DJ Trues too. He was the guest on the Hi-Fi Rush episode, and he is fantastic. We love him. All right. It's now time to check the mail. And as you all recall, that has now been taken over by Super Gamer Bot, our
go ahead and boot him on up.
Full-time third host since JJ's left. Again, now Super Gamer Bot's 3 for 3, much better track record than JJ ever had showing up on the show. So thank you, Super Gamer Bot.
Mail. They're just sending up all the mail bot.
All right.
Wow.
They're good to go.
Good to go. This first question comes to us from Sir Prince-A-Lot. They ask, what's the weirdest item you've seen put on a sandwich, and do you have a go-to sandwich?
Weirdest item I've seen put on a sandwich is caviar. I don't understand the obsession with caviar in the first place.
Now, have you ever tried caviar?
I have.
Okay.
I don't get the hype.
Okay.
It's
Not for me.
Not good.
Yeah, I'm
very
not a fan.
salty.
Oh, overly.
And for what?
Yeah.
Now, have
For
you
mush.
ever had like Vegemite or Marmite?
No, but I hear that is genuinely awful.
Yeah,
'Cause
Vegemite is the worst.
I love Vegemite and Marmite.
Oh, dude.
That would explain why you like Pepsi and Peeps. Now it makes sense.
The world is in balance now, Garrett, and that
You don't
scares
understand.
me.
No, you don't understand. This is the breakthrough that I needed. I've been trying to figure out for years now. Why does he like Pepsi and why does he love Peeps? You like Vegemite.
It's a good
Of course.
When made correctly, a nice piece of Vegemite toast is good. The problem is, here's the issue. A bunch of dumb Americans, and myself included, the very first time I tried it, you get a jar and you're like, I'm going to try this stuff. And you either like lick it off a spoon a little bit, or you put it on bread, but it's like a big thick layer on you. Bite and you're like, this is death, right? It's just straight salt, straight sodium right into your veins. If you make it so I've had it a second time over in Papua New Guinea, which is near Australia. They have, I think Marmite is England, Vegemite is Australia, if I remember right. It's basically the same thing though. The lady there, a friend of ours, she made me a piece of toast. So you toast the bread, put a nice thin layer of butter on the bread, and then you just put like a thin layer of the Vegemite. You don't need a ton. It's more just to enhance the flavor of the toast. And let me tell you, that was the best piece of freaking buttered toast I've ever had. Like with a little bit of Vegemite on there.
I think the butter is doing the heavy lifting in that instance though.
Oh, it is 100%. But what I'm saying is it's buttered toast, but with an extra little like oomph and like enhanced flavor because of the Vegemite. Like butter toast is already great on its own, but having that little bit of spread of Vegemite on there, oh my gosh, I'm like, this is like next level. Like I loved it so much. So
I could not hang with it, man. It was it was painful for me.
I'll take your word for it on this one.
I'm wildly picky to begin with, but then you put something like Vegemite in my face hole and I wanted to cry. I was like, this is awful. I know awful. I've seen Creed live. This is fine. I can skip this.
With arms wide open.
With arms wide open.
Let's go there.
That's pretty good.
The weirdest, I don't know. So here's the thing. Weirdest item I've ever put on a sandwich, or I've ever seen put on a sandwich. I said this before the show to you guys. I am pro put whatever you want on a sandwich. And you guys told me not to say that. You better be glad
JJ's not here because he would have had a field day with that.
Yeah, that would have been.
I can tell you right now, I got something you can put on a sandwich. That's exactly what he would have done.
Oh, no. I'm glad Super Gamer Bot would never do that to me.
No, definitely not. I will say I agree with you to a vague point. There is most things you can put on sandwiches. There is limitations, though.
Absolutely.
Like what? Name one thing.
So I guess this will be my answer. Grapes. Okay. I've seen someone put grapes on they were making a peanut butter and jelly, but they put grapes on it as well. And I just thought that was weird. It may not be bad, but it was weird.
Now I've heard of banana. Banana makes sense because of the peanut butter.
Banana and peanut butter. Yeah. Right.
But grapes, you know what? I'm going to ride with you then because I'm not going to rule it out. It might be good. Now, wait. Are we talking about just a regular peanut butter and jelly or has it been toasted?
It was just regular, straight out of the
okay, see, that might be a little weird. I don't know.
Because I felt like the bread would mash and squish with it. It was just weird.
Yeah. Well, to go off of what Adrian just said, though, I feel like it'd be even weirder if it was toasted because I think like warm grapes do not sound good to me. Like that sounds horrible.
What do you think raisins are? Just dehydrated.
I mean, they're super dehydrated, but like
they're not hot. There's a difference between toasted grapes and raisins.
But I'm just saying, like the heat's gonna dehydrate them in it. You know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
100%. I agree, but like just imagine like a regular grape that's been sitting out in the sun for a couple hours, right? Like
that's how they get dehydrated from heat.
But it's not like fully dehydrated. It's just hot water, essentially. It's just weird.
It's like popping a grape in a microwave and taking it and popping it in your mouth.
And look what happens. You probably, I don't know. I'm not a scientist.
You burn your mouth.
Yo, absolutely.
It's just
I'm not a freaking grapeologist. I don't know what happens to it.
You think I am Gordon Ramsay or something, huh?
Yeah, certified grapeologist Gordon Ramsay.
My go-to sandwich is always just pastrami. If you can make a mean pastrami sandwich, I respect your sandwich shop.
Man,
and it better have mustard on it. I don't know what's going on with these sandwiches in a lot of these places, but they make pastrami and they don't put mustard, and it's weird.
That's weird. That is weird. Yeah, I'm right there with you. Pastrami, or even just like, I guess if I was to order from a Subway, like they call like the Italian sub, like that type where it's like pastrami. I'm trying to think. There's like 2 or 3 meats there. What are the 3 meats? Pastrami is one of them.
Pepperoni, salami, pastrami, and I believe ham.
I don't know if there's ham in there. Maybe there is. I don't know. Whatever that is, that mixture of those meats with like good like provolone or something in there, a little lettuce, like that's fantastic.
Onion,
so good, super good. Super good.
A little bit of onion, a little bit. I don't like to go too crazy with the raw onion.
Okay, wait a minute. Are you a peppers man?
Oh yeah, you gotta get peppers.
Okay,
you have to put peppers on basically everything.
Pepperoncinis in there.
Okay. Look, some people are not pepper people. I understand your preference. I get it, but I think that's just the last little.
I mean, Adrian, there's 2 types of people in this world: people who like peppers and people who are wrong. It's just what it is.
I thought you were gonna say people who like peppers, people who like Peepsy. No.
I mean that we can switch them in and out if you want.
Yeah, those are interchangeable by all means.
Oh no.
For me, I think a go-to sandwich is you guys are in California, so
yes.
Beach Hut Deli. Have you been to Beach Hut Deli?
I know the name, have not been.
Okay, they have a sandwich called the North Shore, which is turkey, ham, pepperoni, salami, and pastrami.
Oh, dang.
And it is just provolone cheese, Italian dressing, mayo, mustard. It is one of the best sandwiches I've ever had in my entire life.
So it's basically like an Italian sandwich, just with extra ham. I think it's the ham that like
ham and turkey is like the big difference in it. Yeah. It's holy crap, is that good?
Okay. I mean, that sounds good. I shouldn't say this. I was about to say something, but I'm like, JJ would have a field day with it. I love meat on sandwiches.
You know what? JJ, this is for you. God, I love
He ain't gonna listen. He ain't gonna listen to it. Don't worry about it.
He doesn't listen to the show. Are you kidding me? If he's not on it, he doesn't care.
He's probably at work right now.
Yeah,
he's not even caring.
Working 20 hours a day. I gotta try that sandwich shop. What's it called?
Beach Hut.
Beach Hut.
Okay, there has to be one in San Diego. It'd be crazy.
There's one like 20 minutes, 25 minutes from me.
Let me make sure.
It's not just like a Northern California thing. There's one in San Diego here. Oh, there's one in Rancho. Oh, real close to me. Awesome.
Yeah, okay, I got it wrong. Ham, turkey, pastrami, Monterey Jack, and Italian dressing.
I mean,
okay. Monterey Jack.
I'm a fan of any and all cheese too. Throw all the cheese. I don't care.
I generally sub pepper jack though, because holy crap, I just like a little bit of spice.
A little bit of spice.
Yeah, that North Shore is the best sandwich I've had in years.
Okay.
Man,
I had to take a look into it.
They got a lot there, so check it all out. It's good.
I'm so glad we're answering these hard-hitting questions here on this podcast.
On this video game podcast.
What
welcome
really
to the
matters.
Super Gamer Boys. What's your favorite sandwich, Garrett?
It makes us personable, all right?
Yeah. I love it. No, it's fantastic. I love it. This next question comes to us from Bumple Smash, and they ask, will we get a book club on the Sly Cooper games?
You know what? Unfortunately, for this season, we are wrapping up with Super Metroid. Had you got that in maybe a little bit earlier, we could have worked it in, but I will tell you this. It is pinned to the board for when book clubs come back. So be on the lookout for that, okay? I got you.
God, even I'm excited for that. Let's be fair. That's going to be good. It's not even real yet.
Do we need to do like a trailer for season 2? Next season on Super Gamer Book Club.
Maybe not yet. I don't even know what's going to be on it.
That's true.
I don't know that's a ways out.
You know what? Just make that trailer look as realistic as possible. Then every time like Super Gamer Book Club and it just says TBD on every slide.
What are we, a video game company at E3?
I know that's what most video game studios do at E3.
E3, that's all it is.
Let's put the logo up and then put coming soon.
Metroid
and
Prime
never talk
4.
about it again.
Elder Scrolls 27.
Yeah. Elder Scrolls 6 coming in 2027. We're announcing it in 2018.
Just a cool couple years out, guys. Thanks.
Oh, man. This last question comes to us from Kajoma01. And they ask, what game would be made better if they just added dinosaurs to it? No other changes, just bang. There's dinos now.
I got my answer. You guys go ahead.
Okay. I'm pretty sure mine is just straight up Grand Theft Auto. I can't tell you how funny that would be because I've been playing that Chaos mod. I can't tell you how funny it would be if you walked outside, boom, Tyrannosaurus Rex just in the front yard. I would lose my mind. I would lose it.
There has to be a mod that adds dinosaurs. Like they have a mod for everything else. How's there not one for dinosaurs? That'd be great.
Yeah. I just think it'd be silly. I don't know. Even if it was just pedestrians dressed up in those inflatable T-Rex costumes, I'd be fine with it.
The real question is, why does Rockstar not have them in there already? They throw everything else into the game.
That's true.
Just make it cheap.
I got a hover bike.
Yeah.
Got a firework launcher and an alien gun. Give me my friggin' dinosaurs already.
What you got, Garrett?
For me, I really miss the old game first-person shooter Turok. So for me, just really put dinosaurs in a first-person shooter. Throw them in Call of Duty. Throw them in Apex Legends. Throw them in whatever. I don't really play that many first-person shooters anymore, so I'm having a hard time even naming them. But just any FPS game nowadays, throw some dinosaurs in there. That would be fantastic. I know people are going to be like, oh, just go play Ark Evolved or something. I don't know. I've heard that game's not great.
It's not the same.
Not the same. Not the same as Turok. I want to be able to like stab a knife into its neck and bleed a velociraptor out. Just
my God, Chris Pratt would be so disappointed in you.
Stick dinosaurs in Doom. That's basically what Turok was. It's just Doom with dinosaurs instead of demons.
Now that you mention it,
I mean, not as like intense, but as far as like having like the takedowns and like crazy stuff like that, like it's not like Doom is like nonstop like bullet hell kind of thing where like, you know, you're just shooting the whole time. Turok was a little more like, ooh, try to sneak up on the dinosaur or whatever. But yeah, I just want Turok. Can I just say that? I just want another Turok game.
I don't think you're wrong to want another Turok.
Oh man, so good.
Mine would be NBA Jam. I think NBA Jam would be phenomenal with Dinosaur. Can you imagine? Like, I don't know, God. Just like you're on the Sonics, right? And you're just trying to get over to the net, and you have to cross up a Velociraptor. Dunk on a Stegosaurus. I'm just, man.
Just, I mean, putting on the juke shoes on a Triceratops just sounds freaking hilarious to me.
So good.
The T-Rex is on fire.
Extinction.
Yes. No, I would rather have an NBA Street level where it's like in Jurassic Park, like you're inside like the Velociraptor cage or something. That's what it is. NBA Street, just inside.
Oh my God.
Just trying
and
to,
they're all around the side of the court.
Yeah.
Just leaning over, eating AstroTurf, just because they can.
Remember NBA Street? Oh, I love that game so much.
Volume 1 and 2, they were the coolest freaking basketball games that ever existed in my eyes.
I was more of an NFL Street guy, but
NFL Street was good too.
NFL Street was. I spent a whole summer playing NFL Street. Back when the Xbox had the original Xbox, when you could burn your CDs to the hard drive, I would make a mix of just good music that would fit with NFL Street. Just turn it on and just play like all day. I spent the whole summer doing that. And I did another one for Tony Hawk's American Wasteland. Good times, man.
I forgot about American Wasteland. Holy crap.
I mean, that's the thing with like NBA Street already had like such a fantastic soundtrack. Like that's one of my favorite things about it was like the soundtrack was so good.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
Every time I turned it on, that song Chief Rocka would come on and I was always just friggin' hyped. As soon as that song came on, I was just ready to play.
I just happened to look over at chat and saw Gem and Heels in the chat saying, what about NFL Blitz?
Also great.
Blitz
Only ever played it at the arcade though.
Yeah, same here. I don't know if I ever played it at home, but like played at the arcade a few times.
Yeah, Blitz was fun too, man. It was a little more chaotic, but it was fun.
That was one where they were doing suplexes and stuff, right?
Yeah, just getting completely silly with it. Like they just give up on it, throw a toilet at somebody. It's whatever.
Didn't it have like the thing too? Like when people got injured, it did the whole like Mortal Kombat thing where it went into skeleton view and you could see like their arm like crack and break. Or
why does that sound familiar?
Or am I thinking of a different game? I thought there was a sports game that did that where like when you got hurt.
I don't think that's Blitz. It
did
could
the whole.
be, though. It's been
like
a while.
The X-ray thing where like you could see their bones like snapping in half. Or maybe I'm mismaking it out.
That sounds familiar. I just don't remember if it was Blitz.
Yeah, I can't.
Yeah, I don't remember it in Blitz. It could be.
Are you thinking of Mutant League? Maybe.
Maybe, I don't know. I mean, that was so long ago. It could be anything, but I have a vivid memory of like some football game that was like that. You'd tackle someone and it's just like do the X-ray view and their arm just snapping.
Mortal Kombat X-ray of them just getting folded.
Who knows? Maybe I dreamt it up. That happens a lot too.
That's not a bad idea if you did.
Yeah, that's a game.
Should we start Super Gamer Boy Studios? Make some games?
Oh, no, you were actually right. It's Blitz the League, though, not the original Blitz.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I never played Blitz the League.
Me either. But yeah, that's the X-Rays one.
That's cool. I wish that was a first thought from Garrett, though.
Yeah, I kind of wish that was an original thought because
that
would have
been sweet.
Something. All right. Did everyone answer that? Yeah, I think you guys all shared. Well, that's it. That's it for the mailbag. So thank you all so much for writing in. If you
Great questions this week, man.
They were fun. They were good. If you want to be awesome just like those folks, you can send in your questions on DM us on social media, or if you want to be real cool, you want to hang out with us during the week, go to supergamerboys.com/discord. Join our Discord server where you can chat about what you're playing, what you're watching, leave your own questions for the show. We have a blast over there. So go ahead and tune in, check it out, leave some questions for next week. All right. Now it's time for the nerdy nudes.
It's now time for the nerdy nudes.
Love it. Love it. Every week. Perfection.
Just quality every freaking time.
And I think the best too is like, so peek behind the curtain. half of that we don't even hear, to be honest, because Discord cuts it out. But you guys on the other end, you get to hear the full pure recording straight from Adrian's microphone. And so really, I'm just imagining how beautiful it is. So I'll be honest, I'm just lying to you each and every week, but no, I'm just kidding.
From my mouth to Pod's ears.
Yeah, it basically goes straight from his microphone into your ears. It doesn't even come to us. That's how pure it is going to you listeners. It's unadulterated.
I hear it live almost every week, and it makes me so happy.
Well, good. I'm glad.
Yeah, keep that going, Adrian. I like it.
Somebody has to.
Take that, JJ. Adrian's better at it.
I feel kind of bad about saying it.
No, don't feel bad. Hashtag JJ sucks. Gem and Heel says sponsored by Liquid Death. Yes.
Please. One day.
Please. If anyone out there has connections, dude, hook us up, please.
Hook me up. Put me in contact with. We'll show them all the numbers we got. We just had an episode that did crazy numbers.
Last week's episode broke 500 views on YouTube just with the one episode, and then with the clips, one of the clips got like almost 300, another one got a couple hundred. So I don't know what we did right.
Crap.
I don't know what we did last week, but all of a sudden, like people on YouTube are like checking us out. It's like,
dude, send me 2 cans and $5, and we're good to go. We're good to go. Liquid Death. All right,
he'll be freaking thrilled with that.
Just to say, hey, we're sponsored by Liquid Death. Yes, sir.
I feel
can't get enough of it.
I feel like the only way they would sponsor us is if they made us like, because don't they have like the club where you have to like sign your soul away to them or something? I feel like in order.
Secret.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, I feel like in order to get like a sponsorship, they'd make us like sign a paper in blood on stream. Like we'd have to prove it, be like, all right.
Worth it.
He's on board with it, man. He'll do basically anything.
Whatever.
But I won't do that.
All right. This first news story comes to us from Matt Purslow over at IGN. They write, Phil Spencer takes full responsibility for Redfall's poor release. Head of Xbox Phil Spencer has addressed the significant negative response to Redfall, the co-op vampire-slaying FPS that recently launched to a large number of negative reviews and player disappointment. Talking to the Kinda Funny Xcast, Spencer said that he is upset with myself and that he's going to take full responsibility for launching a game that needs to be great. While he acknowledged the disappointment that comes from a $70 game arriving in the condition Redfall has, he also offered support for the game's developers, Arcane Austin, noting that he will not push against the creative aspirations of our teams. When asked for his initial response to the launch of Redfall, which dropped as an Xbox exclusive this week, Spencer said, "There's nothing that's more difficult for me than disappointing the Xbox community, and just kind of watch the community lose confidence and be disappointed. I'm disappointed.
Hello.
I'm upset. Hi. Yeah. I'm disappointed. I'm upset with myself. I kind of revisit our process. I think back to the announcement of 60 frames per second. Then we weren't shipping 60 frames per second. That was our punch in the chin, rightfully, a couple weeks ago." While Spencer admitted that the critical response was not what he wanted, he maintained a somewhat defensive attitude for his team at Xbox Game Studios. "One thing I'll fight is the idea of what went wrong," he said. "That's clearly quality and execution things we can do, but one thing I won't do is push against the creative aspirations of our team. I'm a huge supporter of Arcane Austin, and their track record is awesome. I love a lot of the great games they've built. This was one where the team didn't hit their own internal goals when launched. I think it's maybe a little simplistic to say, hey, if you would have just delayed it 3 months, the core creative of the game could have delivered on something that was different to what it was." As for Redfall's future, Spencer said that Xbox, Bethesda, and Arcane Austin intend to continue to work on improving the game, starting with the promised 60 FPS patch. "The team at Arcane is taking the near-term feedback. We're still working on the 60 FPS. We have a good timeline for that. We're committed to getting that done," said Spencer. "And we're going to continue to work the game. We've shown a commitment to game like Sea of Thieves and Grounded to continue to go and build games." That's the gist of it. He had a couple more things he said, but nothing too critical there. So I will say this. It is, I don't know. So many, I think of PlayStation, this situation, they would never admit they're wrong at all. So what a humble man Phil Spencer is, that he came out and he's like, hey, I'll take the responsibility. Like the fact that he's admitting that, hey, we did something wrong.
Is it humble or is it a bad business move?
can be definitely seen on both sides of that coin, because at one point he's definitely trying to, cushion the blow that everyone is definitely receiving at Xbox, and he's trying to make everyone feel a little better about it. But at the same time, you're completely right. He's saying something completely against what the company actually put out and going like, we can do better. We can do better. It kind of shoots himself in the foot.
It makes you look weak.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm not saying like in a console fanboy way. I'm saying it like in a competition way, right? Because you're supposed to ride for your, and he did. He said, I'm taking responsibility, right? But when you have a fan base or when you have an install base of millions of potential, PC Game Pass installs, you have consoles out there, you have people who have put money into this ecosystem, and now you're coming on here and saying, we can't do it. We keep, missing the mark. And even if what was the other thing he said? Even if Starfield comes out and it's a 10 out of 10, that's not going to move the needle. That's not going to make people pick up Xboxes or sign up for Game Pass or anything. Why would you say that?
Yeah, that's one thing that wasn't touched in this article here, but you're right. Yeah, there was another comment about the whole Starfield thing. Like basically, he did come out and basically said that they lost the console race this generation already. He's like, we're giving up.
It just started.
There's so much room to improve. So much. I don't understand like the whole, because Adrian's right with that one on that for sure. Because it just makes you look kind of weak. And that's like, he's basically just admitting defeat. And if he says we already lost the console race, he literally admitted defeat. And that sucks.
Yeah.
For a lot of fanboys out there.
But just because you admit that you've messed up this, is because I think what he's looking at when he says that, what he's saying is we're not going to be able to convert any more people from PlayStation over to us, which he's right about that. But that doesn't necessarily mean that they're not going to put out good and better quality content. Like, I guess in my head, like, that's still allowing them and giving them room. Like, he's not saying like, hey, we're just going to make trash for the next 5 years until the next generation starts.
Of course,
I think like what he's saying is like, unfortunately, it's far enough into the console generation to where like we're not going to be able to convert a PlayStation console owner over to Xbox, which I think he's completely right. Like that's, even if every game was a 10 out of 10 from here on out, unfortunately, I think that he's probably right about that. Should he have accepted that publicly? Like, maybe not, but
that should have been a behind the door board meeting situation.
But he doesn't necessarily say like, hey, we plan on putting out trash for the next 5 years either. Like he does, I think that he can still expect. Well, we don't have the confidence that they're going to put out quality because of their track record so far this generation. But I assume that's obviously the goal of the company, or else why be in business, kind of thing. So I don't know.
But even piggybacking off of what I said earlier about, okay, you're not going to get people to sell PS5s. You still have a fan base that you have to answer to. You still have people who bought this stuff that are looking for quality products. And now you're basically telling me that, it won't be enough even if Starfield comes out and it's a perfect game. So you're already downplaying Starfield. Like you're like Sucks was saying, you're already trying to cushion the blow before the game even comes out. So they're trying to give themselves a little bit of wiggle room so that if Starfield does suck, then he's like, well, I just like I said back when, back in May, it wasn't going to do enough to move the needle. So that's kind of, it's weird. Like if I am an Xbox customer and I hear Phil talking like that, it's like, well, why would I even stick around then if you're not even going to try?
Yeah. I mean, but again, like he's not necessarily saying we're going to put out trash. He's just saying we're not going to be able to convert. Like, so because again, and he could have been more precise with his language, but I don't think he's necessarily saying like, hey, if you have an Xbox, you're going to be disappointed. He's more just saying like, if you have an Xbox, great, you're going to keep getting good stuff. But at this point, yeah, it's just not enough to convert people over from the other side, essentially, which again, yeah, I agree with you. As far as a business move, that was not the right one. Like,
it was poor wording and poor timing. especially like obviously it was in response to the whole Redfall thing, which completely makes sense and is justified. I would have let that bake a little bit. Like, I don't think I would have just come outright the day after and been like, well, guys, we tried our best and we just fell short. That just, to me, it doesn't instill confidence in anyone that actually wants to pick up any Microsoft products, or Xbox rather. It kind of puts a damper on things, because you're right, Garrett, too, is every single person that has a PlayStation that was like, oh, maybe I should switch to Xbox, is like, absolutely Never mind. Screw that noise. We've got Final Fantasy coming. We're good.
I canceled my Game Pass subscription this last week. It's going to renew it on the 5th.
As did I.
It was like the 3rd or 4th, and I saw it was coming up. I'm like, you know what? Like I when I canceled it too, I still had like 2 days left in the subscription. I'm like, I'm not even going to bother installing Redfall. I was like, technically I have 2 days. I could try it out. I'm like, I'm not even going to waste the time to download.
You know what it is? The things that stand out on Game Pass are so few and far between that it financially makes more sense to just buy them than to keep paying for Game Pass.
Right. Yep. Yeah. Oh, yeah. 100%. Like anything that does come out on there, like there's been so rarely a case where there's a first party game that's worth it. Yeah, the only other thing that's worth it is like the indie games that come to it. And then exactly. Yeah. Adrian, you said like, okay, well, indie games are consistently on sale on Steam, or on Switch. Yeah.
Or on Switch
for like $15. And it's like, all right, well, that's a month of Game Pass. And that was the only game I was going to maybe play anyways.
And you get to keep that game forever. Right. It doesn't disappear off of your Game Pass subscription.
And it's on my,
just have it.
Yeah. And it's on my Switch or my Steam Deck that I can play anywhere. I don't have to come and sit in front of my computer and play, whatever XYZ.
Or try to use cloud gaming on a mobile connection.
Right.
Yeah. And you're supporting that company directly.
Yes.
Which is a big one for me, especially when it comes to indie games. Like, got to give them the credit that is due.
Yeah.
Like, it just needs to be done. So
yeah. I don't think this was, I don't think Phil intends to have people look at Xbox this way. I think he was just caught up in a moment. Redfall just dropped. It wasn't great. The reviews were pretty much killing him. And yeah. And then the Activision deal is pretty much looking like it's not going to go through. So that was just a perfect storm of like negative energy happening. I don't know if he was maybe in the best headspace for it, but
yeah,
I don't think Phil intends to make Xbox look bad. That'd be dumb. I think he was just speaking from the heart, and maybe he got a little bit too open about what he thinks.
Yeah,
of the Xbox brand right now. But that's not necessarily what the picture of it is. That's just what he thinks. So,
and that interview was done on Kind of Funny, right?
Yeah.
So I could definitely see why he would just feel like more not in a corporate setting. So like trying to avoid things. He was on a podcast where people generally are just like, let loose and just say what you want to say.
Right.
So I think that side of him just kind of came out, and it came out, and I guarantee you after he left, he's like, oh God, I probably shouldn't have said that.
Mm-hmm. As soon as it was over.
Yeah.
He started getting phone calls.
And I like Phil. I think he's cool.
Yeah,
I think
great.
He's done fantastic things for Xbox. It's just in this moment at, where we're standing, he's just not doing great with certain things that are just in his way.
I mean, he picked up a raw deal, right? Like, ever since he got in charge after Matrick almost blew up Xbox from the inside, he's done phenomenal work in rebuilding the brand and refocusing the strategy. You got to give him credit for that any day of the week. But at the same time, I don't know if it's necessarily in Xbox's cards to be trying to catch up to Sony anymore. I think they should take a page from Nintendo and do their own thing, which I think they already are starting to do with Game Pass.
Yeah.
But there's no reason in trying to, I don't know, compete directly, I think, at this point. I feel like you just need to make your thing and make your thing the best thing that it can be.
Yep.
So that the people want to come over there, maybe in addition to, maybe in place of, but I don't know. This is 2 console generations now in a row where they're getting steamrolled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you're right. I think they just need to make their own thing, adapt to it, make it the best thing that could possibly be for that company, and just move on. Like, don't make it a fierce competition, you know? Like, it's cool to have competition, I get it, but like, you're not going to win every single one. Yeah, exactly. Just step up the numbers from last year. What games came out? That one did. All right, let's double it.
No games last year.
I'm just meaning an overall, overall
but that's
thing,
the thing
not
is,
literally.
Microsoft should be like, let's make the best Xbox games we can make, and then we'll make even better games than those. That should be the competition.
Yeah, but it's just a personal step ladder that they have to keep stepping up.
Yeah.
Like, that's all they need to do. Don't look at it as the competition. It's like, oh, PlayStation's crushing it, you know, or whatever. Like, just how you doing?
Right.
Fix that.
Yeah.
And I saw people online that were like, oh, well, they're just saying this stuff about Microsoft because they're not making the narrative third-person games like Sony is. And I said, I'm thinking to myself about it. I said, I don't need Microsoft to make the exact same games that Sony's making. I just want whatever they make to have the same quality and standards that PlayStation games have. If Xbox wants to make a puzzle game, then you need to have a masterclass puzzle game. It needs to work flawlessly. The puzzles need to be excellent.
Yeah.
You know, down the board.
Everything Xbox is bringing to the table on paper and even in like trailers, like looks incredible. It's just the execution when it comes out is like, where'd the ball get dropped? So exactly. Yeah, I agree with you, Adrian. I don't necessarily need Sony games on Xbox. I just want Xbox games that are actually polished. You know, that work when they come out and have some like cool original like gameplay elements and aren't just like the same thing for however many hours it takes. So
I mean, to kind of piggyback off of what Adrian said too, is like I agree fully. Like, I do not want to see, because the comments are right. Like, they're not correct, but you're right about the comments that they're all saying like, why don't you just make this third person narrative? Like, make a Last of Us or make a Horizon. I don't want regurgitation. I want innovation.
Right.
Like, give me something that's actually unique and cool, even if it's not a third-person narrative-driven thing. If it's a detective thing, something following kind of an LA Noire-esque kind of thing, I would be cool with it. You know, like
a
puzzle games,
game,
totally fine. A fighting game,
whatever.
A new
just
FPS,
make it the best.
It doesn't matter.
Make it so where the way people talk about Last of Us is how they talk about how good your game is. That should be the standard for quality. You know how people always talk about, oh, Last of Us 2 is a technical achievement. It's this, it's that. That's what they should say about your puzzle game.
Yep. Strive to make something that is comparable to it standing in that same award shows.
Right.
Like, give it that actual fight, you know? I don't know. I just really want to see Xbox step it up, man.
Me too, dude. Me too.
I freaking love PlayStation. I freaking love Xbox both. I'm all consoles I love. I just want to see them all succeed. I don't want to see one just blow everything out of the water.
And I don't want to see an industry without Xbox. It's going to be weird, and it's not going to end well for everybody.
Oh God, no. That is a dangerous water to tread.
Man. Yeah. Let's move on here to this next studio, this next story. Speaking of studios trying new things here, written by Ryan Leston over at IGN, Titanfall series director working on a new IP for Respawn. Titanfall and Titanfall 2 director Steve Fukuda is working on something new for Respawn Entertainment. During an interview with Axios Gaming, Respawn director Vince Zampella revealed that Fukuda is currently leading a very small team that's exploring new IP. The mission is to find the fun in something new, said Zampella. Fukuda is perhaps best known for his work on the Titanfall series as director of the popular FPS franchise. Titanfall began as an online multiplayer game, with Titanfall 2 building upon this with a thoroughly enjoyable solo campaign. Since the sequel's release in 2016, fans have been dying to see another installment in the Titanfall franchise, although there are apparently no plans to make Titanfall 3 right now. It has to be the right thing, said Zampella in a recent interview. It's such a beloved franchise for the fans and also for us. If it's not the right moment in time, the right idea, then it just doesn't make sense. Of course, Titanfall and Titanfall 2 aren't the only games set in the universe. Respawn's own Battle Royale Apex Legends exists there too, and that might just make things that little more complicated. So that's kind of the gist of the arc. Goes on more and more about people wanting Titanfall, but I'm excited for really anything from Respawn. I admitted to you guys before the show, I've never played a Titanfall game, but I have played Apex Legends, which I really enjoyed, and they're the ones who make the Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order game, right? Respawn.
Yes.
Which is the first one is incredible. I haven't played the new one that just came out, but they did an incredible job with that. So I'm down for anything new out of them. Like they have done nothing wrong in my eyes so far. But you guys have played Titanfall. What are your guys' thoughts on possibly a new IP for them? Do you think that's a wise decision? Do you think they should just be making a Titanfall 3? Or
me personally, I think it's a good idea because Titanfall has been left behind for just a little too long now. Like nothing's been touched on it for a while. So if they are going to try something new, I'm excited to see what they do. Even if it's included in the Titanfall universe, I'd be fine with that. Just like what we were saying before to the show, Apex is in the same universe as Titanfall, which just adds a little bit more, like cool to it, So I just like elaborate and expand on that world, like make it like an MCU-esque situation where everything's happening in that world. It would be cool to see. So it doesn't necessarily have to be like, an exclusive new IP. It just something new inside of that universe. So I'd be fine with that no matter what way they swing it.
So you want a match 3 puzzle game for mobile, right? That's what you're looking for?
Yes, I do have a phone. That is all I understand.
Had you not said mobile, I actually would have been interested to see how they do it.
As soon as you said mobile, I was out.
Same deal. Titanfall, both of them are great. 2 is excellent. Garrett, I know you said you hadn't played it, but the campaign in that game, people still talk about it to this day about how good it is. So it's definitely warranted for you to give it a try.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I've always wanted to give it a shot. Now, because the first game was just like online multiplayer, right? So there's no need to play the first one because it's just So really,
I don't even think the servers are still up.
Okay, so they're really down. So really, just playing the second one, I would get all the story I need.
Yeah, and it's short too. Okay. But it uses its time well. It doesn't overstay its welcome.
Now, did that come out on everything? Because I thought one of them was exclusive to Xbox, wasn't it?
The first one.
The first one was okay. Interesting. Yeah, well, maybe one.
But based on that track record alone, I'm whatever Respawn's working on. Let me see it. Whenever you're ready to show it.
Yeah.
Take your time.
Take your time. Yep. Don't screw this up. I mean, so far they haven't, but now I forget now. Respawn, they are not owned by Xbox, right? Or are they?
No, EA.
I was going to say, I'm
EA.
pretty sure
okay.
it's EA.
That's what I was like, I knew there was a parent company. I just couldn't.
Which is also why we're not getting any more Titanfall stuff is because of EA. Even though EA borked it the first time with Titanfall 2 because they put it out at the same time as Battlefield and Call of Duty.
Yes, I remember that. Yeah. They put both of their games out at the same time as Call of Duty. It's like,
dumb.
Oof, what were you
Such
thinking?
A huge shot in the foot, dude. Oh my God.
Oh man.
Releasing anything at the time Call of Duty comes out is just a poor decision.
Right? Yeah, because I mean, it's
a Titan as much as I hate to say it.
Yeah, it's same here. Like I love a good Call of Duty campaign, but in general, I've kind of like fallen away from Call of Duty a little bit the last few years, and yeah, like that game comes out, it's like forget it. It's just a black hole. It just sucks all the everything into it and just obliterates it.
You look on Twitch and literally the viewer count for everything is like 10. Everything else is just all on the new Call of Duty game.
Oh man. So yeah, looking forward to see what Respawn has for us next. Speaking of the new Star Wars game, just real quick, have you guys been able to give it a try at all?
I have not yet.
Okay.
No, I haven't either.
No? Okay.
I'm not really in a rush.
I've heard good things about it, but I haven't been too fast to jump into it because with the first one, I enjoyed it, but it was also one of those games by the end I was ready for it to be done. I think I remember saying on the show, and everyone was kind of shocked, like, what? Like, I loved the whole game, and then I got to the end, and even though like the story is incredible all the way through, but gameplay wise, I was like, all right, let's just get this done. Like,
can only take so many Souls-like fights until you're over it.
Yeah, exactly. And so, yeah, that was my worry with like the new one. I'm just like, do I want more of that or?
Cal is my barrier to entry. I think. I don't know. He's just. I'm not feeling it with him. I don't know what it is. It's just something weird that I can't get over. So
I
don't believe it. I don't know. He doesn't fit to me.
I have to agree with that. And but for me, it's for a very specific reason. It's because I've seen him like, so I knew the actor who plays him, I don't remember his name. I knew him from the TV show Gotham as the Joker. He was a Joker in that. And so when I saw him in Star Wars, I'm like, this is so weird. Like, he's the Joker. He's not some Jedi in Star Wars. Every time I play it and hear his voice, and I'm like, nah.
Use the Force, Batman.
It's like he's the Joker.
I said this before about the Jedi series, and what is it about Cal's story that they couldn't have just given you a character creator and done a male and female dub?
Yeah.
Or let you be a alien species. Why can't I? You know what I mean?
I never thought of that.
There's nothing.
That is annoyingly accurate. That is like frustratingly accurate.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially with what I mean, we don't learn a ton about his backstory, but what we've learned at least in the first game, like, yeah, you're 100% right. There's nothing that's like he has to be like
is like the one, like the family of someone related to this situation. Like, it doesn't have to be that at all.
Right. You can still call the Cal is a very like neutral name. It could be either one, especially for Star Wars. It could be a male or female presenting name.
Yeah.
So the fact that they didn't think
any gender, any race, any whatever, just
let's just do one performance. We'll have a male dub and a female dub, and then let the player create whatever character they want to do.
Unless this new game completely opens up his story, I completely agree with you in every way, sense, and form.
Yeah.
Unless this one is not super story driven on his story. It doesn't really matter then. I can see where you're coming from. Both of you, actually.
I know the reason. I know the reason that they went with him. So the reason with that, why they had to nail it down to a specific character, is because in the next couple of years they're going to have him on a Disney Plus show. They have to have that's my theory. I think I was surprised. What show was it recently? I was watching. I was like, it almost felt like it was leading up to some sort of character reveal. I'm like, oh man, like it'd be sick if they brought like Callan, like here's their chance, and they didn't. And I'm like, okay, whatever. Like it didn't hurt the story. I was kind of like, whatever. But that's the only thing that makes sense to me. Why would they make such a big deal about having like someone who's already an actor? Like he's not even a voice actor. I don't think he hasn't done voice acting before. He's only done acting. And so the fact that they tagged him, I was like, oh, it's obviously because they're going to have a show about him one day or have him in a show. But I don't know. We'll see. Even that's not a good that's not a good canon reason to have that. Yeah. It's just a Disney like financial down the road. Yeah,
they're working it in to turn it into something else.
Thanks for saving us, Cal Kestis from the Jedi series.
Oh my God, that would be so stupid.
Oh, man.
Wow, you saved my life, Cal Kestis. Thank you so much.
No problem. Now get out of here, kid.
All right, let's get to this last news story because I am champing at the bit for this Redfall review. This last news story comes to us from GameSpot, not GameStop. I almost said the wrong one. GameSpot, written by Evan Campbell over there. PlayStation's Pixel Opus studio is shutting down. Pixel Opus, an in-house studio for Sony, has shuttered. The developers behind Concrete Genie and Entwined announced that the adventure has come to an end. On Twitter, Pixel Opus, self-described as a small Sony team, revealed that it was closing up shop. As we look to new futures, we wanted to say a heartfelt thank you to the millions of passionate players who have supported us and our mission to make beautiful, imaginative games with heart, the studio wrote. GameSpot reached out to Sony for an official comment and was told the following. PlayStation Studios regularly evaluates its portfolio and the status of studio projects to ensure they meet the organization's short and long-term strategic objectives, a Sony representative said. As part of its recent review process, it has been decided that Pixel Opus will close on June 2nd. Sony revealed the formation of Pixel Opus in 2014 before E3, and the studio was reportedly founded by Carnegie Mellon University. Is that how you say that? That doesn't sound right. I don't know.
I could not tell you.
Yeah,
I didn't go to college. I don't know. San Jose State University. Students who worked on game prototypes for PlayStation Vita. Entwined was the team's first game launched on PS4 before arriving on the PS3 and Vita. So it's always sad when a studio shuts down, especially, I don't know, even though it was PlayStation owned, I feel like this is like essentially PlayStation's indie studio. Like that's any game the games they put out always had that indie feel to them.
Yeah. What a commitment that they just showed to indie games, huh?
Huge.
Yeah. Right.
You got to appreciate it.
Not to mention, Media Molecule apparently is on the ropes now because of Dreams flopping.
Yeah, they just shut down the Dream servers, right? Or something like that, which is crazy.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Let me tell you something. If Sony shuts down Media Molecule, it's going to be the biggest mistake that they make. Media Molecule is by far their most creative studio by a country mile.
Yeah, not even close.
And if you get rid of them, you're going to get rid of some of the most creative talent you have in the industry. I really hope that they don't make a huge mistake and do that.
They're chopping people left and right, it seems like. So I'm really hoping that doesn't happen.
If they, I can't even imagine a world without Media Molecule. Like, I mean, Little Big Planet and Tearaway. Tearaway was so good.
Tearaway is a masterpiece.
And even
fact
Dreams.
That they did that on Vita.
Yeah. And even Dreams. God. Like, I tinkered around in Dreams for a while. I'm like, this is brilliant. Like, the fact that, like, they made, there was a game in it. And then also anyone could make whatever game they wanted. Like, it was literally a game engine for people to make what they want. Or their own art.
Within PS4 hardware. That is a feat.
It's wild how much they had just in that small package that you could pick up. It is insane what you were able to do. And that is absolutely stupid. If they do decide to close that down, I would lose my mind, actually.
Yeah.
I would definitely be looking at them different.
Yeah. I would too. Losing Little Big Planet for me, cute as hell. I love that game.
This definitely sucks about Pixel Opus. Concrete Genie, I don't know if you guys were able to play it. I did. It rules. It's a feast for the eyes. I don't know what more. I never got to try it in VR. I always wanted to do that.
Oh, yeah. That sounded incredible. Just from what because I only played a little bit of Concrete Genie. Unfortunately, this probably is what led to the downfall. They gave it away for free on PlayStation Plus, like pretty soon after it came out. I don't think it was immediately, but it was like pretty soon after it was a PlayStation Plus free game. And it's like, well, of course they're not going to have good sales because you gave it away for free. But
everyone just received it.
I remember trying a little bit of it, and just the colors so vibrant and the art style. Yeah, everything about it is just so. Again, it had that homey, indie, comfortable feel to it. It's like putting on a nice pair of warm slippers at night, on a cold night. And then for them to bring that VR mode, that looked awesome. Unfortunately, only done through PSVR.
Yeah, but, naturally.
I don't know what Sony's doing over there. And just hot off the heels of buying a new studio, just last week? We talked about that 2 weeks ago. That was just a week or two ago. We talked about them buying
the one
a new
that
studio.
They don't even have a game out. It's just prospects, but they bought them up.
Yeah, they've never put out a game, and they don't even have like a game. They're in like pre-production. Like they have like a concept. They're like, hey, we thinking about making this, and Sony bought them. It's like, what?
So they have like 8 sticky notes with ideas, and they're like, yeah, this is what we're gonna do. PlayStation. All right, Pixel Opus, pack your stuff, get out.
Even though you gave us Concrete Genie, pack it up.
Get out.
Go home. Yeah, bonkers crazy. So
that's.
I hope everyone who is working there can, land on their feet,
bounce back,
find another job with whatever whether it's staying in the game industry or if you want to get out. I wish you well, and I hope you're able to get out because it's a turbulent like career, really. Like being in the games industry is like you're asking for, unfortunately, constant turnover. It's sad, but
it's dark, but it happens all the time.
Yeah,
it's very depressing, but hopefully everyone can land on their feet. Make something new. Hell, even start a different studio.
Yeah,
that would be
start
ideal.
Fresh.
Do something.
That would
go
be
independent
ideal.
again.
And that happens. Yeah, that happens so many times. I feel like in the last few years, so many studios have gotten shut down, and within like a few months, where like you hear, oh hey, they're starting up a new studio, and it's like mostly the same crew. So hopefully that's what happens. Start up something new.
That
keep making cool
easily
games.
Could happen. They know what they're doing. They have all these ideas in mind. So why not?
Yeah,
just keep the dream moving forward.
But the vicious cycle continues. 5 years after that, Sony buys them again. Make a couple games. They don't perform well. They get they get laid off. Shut down the studio again. Then they make a new studio. Then it starts over now. Oh man, no, they wouldn't make the same mistake twice. That's for sure.
Yeah, they'll get bought up by Microsoft. That seems like a wise idea.
But will it go through? No one knows.
I'm pretty sure the UK would stop that one. You guys want Pixel Opus? I don't think so.
Never. All right. Well, that is it for the news stories this week. Thank you to, I don't know who I'm thinking. I just
all
started.
The people who wrote the
I was
articles
ready
for us to talk about.
Yeah. Thank you for all you wrote that. I was like getting ready to do the outro for the show. And I'm like, wait, we got more show to do here. It's now time for our Patreon ad. This is the part of the show where I tell you to go over to patreon.com/supergamerboys and support us over there starting at just $1 a month. That's right, $1 and you get episodes early and ad free, such as this show and Super Gamer Book Club. Comes out, you get that 2 months early ahead of everyone else. Fantastic show over there. So think about supporting us there. And $5 a month, you can get the show notes early where you can see what we're going to be talking about, all the news stories, all the listener questions. And you, the Patreon supporter at $5, you can leave your own questions, comments, concerns straight on the doc. That's right. If you see one of the listener questions and you're like, hey, that's an interesting question, I got an answer for that, go ahead and leave a comment right on the doc. You can leave your own thoughts and we'll read it on the show. Same thing with the news stories. You got a thought about Phil Spencer taking responsibility for Redfall, leave it on there. We'll read it on the show. So if you want to be a part of the show, $5 a month, you can see those show notes on Sunday when they come out, and we'll read them, the good ones. Don't just leave trash, because then I'll not read them. But I don't mean a bad opinion. I just mean like don't leave a dumb knock joke. $10 a month, you can get all those previous perks, as well as a shout out on the show each and every week as a Super Gamer sponsor at the top of the show. And the top dog tier, $15 a month, you can be a Patreon producer, where you get all the previous perks and you can help us kind of make a cool show. You have our ear. You can pitch us a segment and be like, hey, I think it'd be cool if you did this or that. And we give it the old college try. We've tried pretty much everything we've been pitched, I believe, sometimes to our detriment. Sometimes they don't work out so well, but you know what? We gave it the old college try. So think about supporting us over at the Super Gamer Boys Patreon over there, and we very much appreciate all of you who support us there currently, which, hey, they're not listening to this ad because this is cut out of the Patreon episode. So think about that. You don't have to hear me ramble right now. Also, think about subscribing over on Twitch, twitch.tv/TheSuperGamerBoys, where we stream each and every Monday as we record live. That way, so if you catch it early, you can actually catch it early over on Twitch. We would appreciate it if you support us over there. If you have Amazon Prime, you can link it to Twitch with Prime Gaming, and you get one free Prime Gaming sub each month. Costs you $0. We get $5 right in our pocket. So think about dropping that Prime sub over on our channel, twitch.tv/TheSuperGamerBoys. Like I said, Monday nights, you can catch us recording live, raw, unedited chaos over here. Think about it. It's fun. You can be in the chat too, just like SelkiezZ normally is. Last but not least, W.GG. Think about giving us support by buying some W. Using our code SGB, you get 10% off. We get a little bit of a kickback on that by using our code, that is. Don't just go over to W and buy some energy. Make sure to use our code. I have been absolutely loving, I know I will talk about the last couple of weeks, but Calio Cream, Beach and Peach. Both of these are like their newer flavors, especially this one. This is their new summer flavor, Calio Cream. Oh my gosh, they're so good. This one, Mango Orange Cream. It's like a creamsicle. Fantastic. If you're looking for energy that, no crash, no sugar, no gluten, has patented neurofactor and green coffee fruit extract in it, help you think good and do good, That's their slogan. That's actually what the copy says, I promise. Think about picking up some W energy, jitterless, crashless energy over there, in fantastic flavors too. It's not chalky. I've tried some, it has that little chalky grittiness in it. If you mix this up real good, and they offer their own blender cups. Fantastic every time. Perfection. So think about it. W.GG, code SGB. All right. It's now time to get back to the show. All right, it's that time. You've all been waiting so long for this one. The Redfall.
Want to save those woos.
The Redfall review brought to you by twitch.tv/SelkiezZ, sponsored by Super Gamer Boys and Mountain Dew.
Mountain Dew?
I'm just kidding.
That was weird. Peepsy. That was the right one.
Yes, Adrian and I, we always talk about what we're playing. You guys know what we're playing. But this week, we wanted to bring you the official Redfall review from none other than SelkiezZ here. You suffered through the game. I don't know, maybe you enjoyed it, but I'm excited to hear your thoughts on Redfall. So, Selks, you have the floor.
All right. Well, so I ended up playing Redfall through its entirety. So instead, I'm going to review Spider-Man 2002 for the PlayStation 2.
All right, cool. Weird.
I was going to say, you're the one guy that finished it?
Yeah, right? Spider-Man was made by Activision. I'm just kidding. I'm going to Redfall. So, generally coming in at a normal price tag, $70, I'm going to outright just start this off by saying it is not worth $70. There is no freaking way that you can charge someone $70 for a game of this quality.
Can you imagine someone buying that game for $70 and getting what they got? Like, I would be...
I'd be pissed.
Furious.
Oh, my
God. I would have had a raging tantrum if it was not on Game Pass. And I was super excited for this stupid game. My God.
Garrett was, too. He was through the roof about this game.
Every trailer they showed,
so good.
I was like, this is it. This is so fucking cool. I'm in.
I just love Arcane Austin, man.
Yeah.
Everything they do, from Dishonored. Oh, God. Just Dishonored alone, actually. Just one of the best things I've ever played. But the game itself, I'll start with a bunch of good and we'll end with the bad. So on the good side, from a graphical setting, the game is very, very pretty to look at. I will say, like, as you on PC, obviously, without the 30 FPS lock, we'll talk about that. It's really nice to be able to go into a lot of these environments, like a lot of the towns and city area that you were in. It's all decorated very festively, like Halloween, kind of like it's in that time frame where it takes place. It is just so pretty to look at. Even down to just the interiors of houses and buildings that you go into. It doesn't seem like a lot of reused assets. It just seems like almost one person went in and made that environment for each one. And it's really nice. I actually really enjoyed that. Aesthetically, the reasoning why you're stuck inside this area is very, very interesting too. Like the whole this vampire cult and group of mercenaries are essentially trying to take over this city and achieve one particular goal. And you have mercenaries, which are not vampires by any means. They're just militant occult followers. They just have guns. They like vampires. They read Twilight. Game, set, match.
Okay.
But as you're progressing through,
is that you find like random copies of Twilight strewn across the world? That would be fantastic, honestly.
That would, oh my God, I'd lose it if that was real. That would be so funny. No. But they're all like, obviously I'm not going to give anything away. I'm going to try to keep it as spoiler free as possible. They spend all of their times basically fortifying different areas around the town and city. So Far Cry 5, that's where you can see the comparison. Because your whole goal as you're going through is you find a safe house, you achieve the safe house and get its power started, you go do a mission, go back, kill another boss. These are mini bosses.
Okay.
And you do that for each small section on the map. Each one is like kind of chunked out. It is so boring. It is so boring doing that because these missions are legit. Like the first one, so there's 2 missions at each safe house. The first one is generally like go find this group of people, find out what they're doing to find out where what they call an underboss is. And that's just, like a lieutenant, I guess, of some of the bigger bosses that you experience in each chapter. You just go there, you kill a bunch of the most mindless NPCs I have ever seen in my entire life. Watching these guys with guns, like you'll have a dude in your sights and he'll just turn and run into the fence right next to him without even trying to get around it or turn. He'll just keep running into the fence.
So you play this on your own?
I played this with 2 friends.
Okay.
So for me, when I was playing by myself, I was bored to tears. When I was with friends, it was actually a wonderful time. Because the characters by themselves do not like really talk too much. They don't speak or do anything except for like they see somebody, they're like, oh, well, that's scary. And then they just move on. But when you actually have other players in there, they actually have some interesting background stories that they like passively tell each other that is very interesting and sometimes really funny. Like the characters communicating with each other is really cool. And with the characters in mind, the skill trees that they have are actually very fun, fleshed out, good skills. Like the things that you can do, it's justified. Like you have the character I played, his name was Devinder. He is a cryptid hunter.
Ooh.
And he's like famous on YouTube or Twitch or whatever the heck. He's just, you know, the stereotypical Twitch guy. Mm-hmm. And he's very knowledgeable about all these things that are cryptic, you know, like the vampire. So it's super cool to hear him actually like spout knowledge to it. And one of the other characters is like, wow, that sounds like bullshit. He's like, well, you're experiencing it right now, you know, and they just don't believe him, even though they're experiencing it firsthand. So like the dialogue between the characters is actually very good. I give it a lot of credit because it seems like they actually cared about what the characters are supposed to be fleshed out to be and how they act, even in cutscenes. And the cutscenes are done via like slideshow-esque kind of things, like little scenes that are pasted on screen, slowly zooming out or zooming in.
Yeah, what was that about? That looks like the most low effort.
That's what I'm saying. Like, but through the dialogue itself, it sounded good. They needed to animate the cutscenes to make them seem more personable. Because
they tried to pass animatics off as cutscenes.
Yeah, and it's each time you accept one of the new main missions, you get one of those. And it just every single time. And I guess it's like kind of relevant to what the mission is, but it doesn't really give you anything. Because the mission itself is being told to you through text before you hit accept, and then it goes into this slow panning like slideshow essentially of what you were going to do and how your character is like, well, I don't like firehouses. I can't slide down the pole. That scares me. Like, okay, cool. Good talk, Junior. Really needed that dialogue. And then you go do the mission at the firehouse, you know, like it doesn't need to be done unless they just did a full dialogue, like, or a GTA-esque like cutscene. You walk into the room, you start the mission, bunch of characters talk, you describe what you need to do, out the door. I would have loved that. Because there's plenty of side characters that could have had cool, you know, backstories and personable moments, but they just were there as like, oh, I am vendor. Oh, I am healer. I am priest. You know, it's like, okay, you didn't flesh any of them out. It was unfortunate.
I mean, it sounds like the priority here was to get the game working, right? And because of that, everything else took a hit.
Came second. Everything else came second. So the only way I'm trying to like be like optimistic here and not just like completely trash on this game.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm trying to be as like even balanced as I can here. I will say outright, if you are playing this game with friends and the game is on sale for at least $30 to $40 in that price range, playing it with friends would be a completely worth it time and experience for you. Because there's enough differential between the characters, what they can do, how they talk, the weapons, how unique they are, how they feel, which I will say the gun feel in that is awesome. Some of the weapons feel so nice to shoot. The rifles feel meaty. Like when you actually hit a shot, it feels like you did in real life in a kind of way. I know it's dark, but like it just...
Yeah, just like I used to back home, you know?
Yeah, back home just capping people. No, it just feels meaty, like you actually shot a rifle. Like the sound and everything to it was fantastic. The abilities look good on screen. The dev's skill, he throws like this little spear that just shocks the area around it. When you throw it, like the noise it makes and everything, and the sound of the static and everything is just very, very satisfying. Mm-hmm. It gives you a lot of like feedback on that as you're playing, and it just feels good. It just feels overall nice. And all the characters that my friends had played, there was one we did not play, and that was I can't remember his name, but he's the sniper equivalent.
Okay.
Every one of them felt good. Their abilities felt nice. Everything looked good, especially looked good on the animations from what they were doing. They all looked great.
What did you play this on? I'm sorry.
PC.
PC. Okay.
I paid it through Xbox Game Pass on PC.
I was waiting. I was like, oh, I hope he talks about that whole frame rate debacle, but I guess you didn't have to deal with that. So
yeah. That is one thing I was going to bring up too, is when it comes to people that are flaming this game, it comes from a place of truth, which is completely valid. You have the right to be upset. But people putting in reviews that this game is horrible because it's locked at 30 FPS on consoles, they announced that before the game even came out. You had to know that was coming. I don't agree with it. I do not agree with it at all. It should have come out at 60, ready to go. But it's,
and I think what threw a lot of people off is, and I mean, we even touched on it in the story earlier, they originally came out and said it was going to be 60, and then came out 2 weeks before release and said, well, not at release. And everyone's like, what?
Yeah.
Like that's the one feature we knew about
that we were expecting,
and now it's not going to be there. And the fact, I think what the even bigger blow is the fact that Xbox, at least in my brain, is a console first. So like, I feel like on their flagship console, it should run the best, right? Especially
on the most powerful console in the world.
It should be the most top tier game at that point.
Right.
And unfortunately, it fell flat on its face on that one. And again, like I said, they announced it, they said it, it's not right, but you had to expect that after it was announced and you still bought it. It's kind of a self-inflicted thing there, but I don't agree that it should have happened. It should have been 60 FPS out the box immediately. I'm not going to make this too freaking long. I'm just going to I'll summarize everything from this point. Environment, I will give that a solid 8 out of 10.
Okay.
Weapons and UI, I'm going to give that an 8 out of 10 as well. Because the UI was functional, simple, direct. You knew what you were looking at. You knew how to navigate it. Didn't have a single issue with it. AI, that's a freaking 0. That is a huge 0. Huge 0.
I've seen the clips where like, not even the grunts, but even like mini bosses, like where like people are just running right up to the mini boss, and the mini boss is just floating there in his protective orb, and they're just like shooting him or hitting him with whatever weapon, and like he's not moving, he's not reacting. The boss is just floating there, like in his little. It's like, what? Like there should be some sort of like recoil or like get away, but no, it's like the boss just stands there until he dies. And it's like, what? He
just accepted it. Yeah. There was 3 underbosses that we had that did that. One specifically at a church. We were able to just run in, and she just stood there and stared at us. My friend starts shooting her, and she just makes the noises like she's gonna run away. She's like, "No, how could you?" And then just completely stayed still. So you were able to just light her up and kill her. So AI. Man. Terrible. All the way bottom, 0 out of 10.
How does Left 4 Dead 2 have better AI than this game?
Dude, unbelievably so much better.
Crazy.
Story standpoint, I'll give it a 4 out of 10.
Okay.
For an honest opinion, 4 out of 10. Because it was there. It was definitely there, but it definitely took a backseat. Because there were so many other things that people are focused on in that game that the story, you're just like, hey, great, skip. Like, no one cares. And even sitting through it, all of it for myself, I still didn't care. I know that sounds bad, but like they tried, sad. It just didn't matter to me.
Because Arcane always does great stories. Like like Prey was great, and I never played a ton of Dishonored, but But even like Deathloop, like I reached like Deathloop on PS, like that story was incredible. I love that. And so like
it was creative.
So when I was, when Redfall was announced, like that's why I was so stoked about it. Cause I'm like, dude, like Deathloop was awesome, super like creative. And not only gameplay was great, but story was great. And then to hear that Redfall story is kind of like, oh, it's whatever. Like, it's all right. It's just so sad. Cause that's like in their DNA is not only like creatively, like artistically, graphically, but also creative, like in their stories have always been so good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they knock it out of the park. Like Dishonored 2 has probably one of my favorite stories of any of their games. It's super interesting and just, packed with all kinds of different intrigue and characters and things you're gonna remember. You're just flat out gonna remember it. But this one, I couldn't even tell you the first boss's name.
Yikes.
Gotta be honest. I couldn't even tell you like what the first boss's actual name was.
Yeah, it's not ideal.
And I know this is kind of like a crash course through like a review. It was just kind of like randomly spit through, but it's because that's how I felt through the game. I just felt like I was being thrown into random situations and having no context as to why. But the game itself, like I said, from a functional standpoint, I did experience slight hitching every like 5 to 10 minutes. I would just get like a little frame stutter, and then I'd be right back to where I was, no issues.
Okay.
Like, just on an experience of how it functioned, it did decently. Like, just from actually working. Yeah, it at least works. People that were comparing this to Cyberpunk at the beginning have really overestimated how bad this game is, because it's not. It's not as bad as Cyberpunk by any means. Cyberpunk is a working game now, so
barely.
It's there. It's there. The game itself, like, overall, I'm gonna tell you again the same thing I said before. If it is on sale or they drop the price down to like $30-$40, maybe hopefully lower, it's worth it to play with buddies.
30 or lower.
Yeah, 30 or lower. If they fix everything, I could maybe see 40, but even then, no, lower than that would be ideal.
I don't think they're going to get the runway to be able to fix everything. I think they're going to drop this 60 and maybe one piece of DLC and then call it a day.
Yep.
Because they got to get, I guess apparently they're supposed to be adding a couple characters to the game. But I think as soon as they do that, patch it for 60, they're out of there onto the next thing.
I mean, that's just Arcane's kind of track record in general, though. Like, they usually do one piece of DLC and then they move on. Like, that's what they did with the Dishonored games. That's what they did with Prey. They didn't do any DLC for Deathloop, but like usually they do like the game, a DLC, and then move on. So I wouldn't be surprised, but this is unfortunate because this being a more multiplayer focused game, I guess you would hope for more, but I think you're right, Adrian. I think they might stay with their normal trend and be like, we'll just make it work. We'll get it to a working state and maybe give you a little extra, and then we're like, deuces, we're out of here.
Then they're just gonna leave to their next IP.
Yep.
Yeah. Like, my honest take, 4 out of 10 overall.
Oof.
But if you play it with friends, maybe a 6 to 7.
Okay.
Playing it with friends, 6 to 7. Playing by yourself, wouldn't even pull it off the shelf.
Dang. Crazy. Sad.
All I can say is thank you for doing that for us, because
suffering.
Lord knows I wasn't doing it.
That was 35 hours that I wasted on that.
Jeez Louise.
And I was trying to actively like do all the side stuff too. I wanted to give an honest opinion. Like, I didn't want to come in here and just be like, it's all right, I guess. like I wanted to like really dig into like some of the things that bothered me about it and things that I enjoyed about it. I know that was very chaotic, that review, but it just the game itself was chaotic, so there wasn't really a place to stand on.
Yeah,
I get you.
Yeah. No, we appreciate it. Thanks for sharing, and thanks for taking that bullet for us. Now I feel like I need to like Venmo you $15 for your Game Pass subscription for the month or something, just to like for your time for that 35 hours. Like, oof.
I know we talked about it before. I canceled my Game Pass as well, so we're good.
All right, cool.
That's closing out. After I took the proverbial shot in the mouth from that stupid game, I'm good.
Man. Well, thank you so much, Selks, for joining us here and sharing your thoughts on that. And yeah, I think that's probably like our first like official game review we've ever given. So I appreciate it. Like, I feel like we've had Nate Fletcher on before, and he talked about something he played, but I don't think he finished the game. So thank you, Selks, for just going way beyond and sharing that with us here. And
I told you I was playing it. You guys are like, you want to come on the show and talk about it? I was like, well, then I'm finishing this thing.
That's awesome.
I want to make sure I give an honest opinion, and I think I justifiably did that.
Yeah. Absolutely.
We appreciate it, dude. All right. Well, thank you all so much for watching and listening to the show this week. We appreciate each and every one of you guys who take the time out of your week to consume our content. So we appreciate it. If, while you're at it, if you wouldn't mind sharing this with a friend, just if everyone sent it to one friend, we'd double our viewership. So think about just one friend who you could send this over to who might be interested in Redfall, might be interested in Xbox Game Pass. Who knows? They can maybe learn something from the news story we talked about, or from this Redfall review. If you want to support us even further, Yeah. No, that was a good review. That was a great review. There's nothing wrong with that. You even had a 10-point scale that you use. It's great. If you want to support us further and helping us pay for future Game Pass subscriptions if they ever put out a decent game, if we want to,
or just game purchases outright,
just or just game purchases, right? Yeah, exactly. Go over to patreon.com/supergamerboys, where you can support us over there starting at just $1 a month. We appreciate all of you folks who support us over there each and every month there. And you get some cool perks. So it's not like you're just throwing us money into the nether. You know, you get shout outs on the show. You can get our show notes. You can pitch us segments for the show. If you want a more tangible physical good when supporting us, go over to sgbstore.com, where you can buy some merch. We got t-shirts, we got mugs, we got stickers. Think about swinging over there. And then you could not only get a sick t-shirt, but it'll make it so much easier to share with your friends your love for Super Gamer Boys. So it's just, perfect conversation starter. So think about heading over there, getting some sweet merch. W.GG. Remember, you can use our code SGB to get 10% off your order, and we get a little bit of a kickback. So it's another way to support the show, and you get some good energy drink that's not going to, kill you. Rate and review us where, is caffeine good for us anyways? Who knows? We'll find out when we're dead.
No, people know. People know there's been studies done.
Yeah, it's not ideal, Garrett. Yeah. But it's good to wake us up.
So good. It's so good. Rate and review us where you can. If you're over on YouTube, make sure to like and subscribe over there. If you're on Apple Podcast, leave us a review, and even Spotify. I think you can leave reviews over there now too. So leave us reviews. That helps tremendously. The thumbs up, the comments, the subscriptions on YouTube. It's free to subscribe on YouTube. So think about doing that. Helps our channel tremendously. Shout out to Jack Sriracha again and Yate for allowing us to use their music on our show. Find them on Apple Music and Spotify. You can find us during the week at supergamerboys.com, Twitter and Instagram at supergamerboys. I'm over on Twitter and Instagram at gmorlang. Adrian, where can the fine folks find you at?
You can find me any and everywhere at Homeboy.
And Selks, where can the people find you during the week?
Right now, the only place you can find me is twitch.tv/SelkiezZ. Don't have anything else set up.
Sweet. And we'll have that link in the descriptions on YouTube and podcast. So if you're like, how do you spell SelkiezZ? That's a very good question. And honestly, I'll probably have to Google it later too. So, so look forward for that link, and make sure to go give him a follow. Help him get back to affiliate. Be one of the 14,000 bots. But no. Oh, okay. You don't want.
Don't
more.
Do that.
You don't want more bots. Okay, don't be bots.
No bots.
Go follow them, but be a real person. No bot raids. All right, Adrian, that's it. Go ahead and take it away.
Sounds like a plan. Selks, you've been great. Thanks for coming and hanging out with us and giving us that in-depth look at Redfall, because Lord knows we weren't going to do it. But we hope you had a good time hanging out with us for the little bit. And, doors always open. If you ever feel like stopping on by, just let us know.
Oh, it's been a treasure, man. I'm just happy to finally be on the show. We've talked about it like 3 or 4 times. Yeah. I'm just happy to finally be on. I appreciate it. It was a lot of fun. You guys are good people, so it's good to be on.
I appreciate that. Just like we appreciate all of you out there in Radio Land or Video Land or wherever you're tuning in from. Every listen, every share, it helps out, helps us keep growing and keep our numbers going up, even though that's not the focus. It's always cool to see more people jumping on the bandwagon and rocking with us and enjoying what we do. So until next time, we are the Super Gamer Boys.
We'll catch you on the flippity flop.
4 out of 10. Woo.
Yeah. Yeah, that was some stinky gameplay.